on this block that doesn't, maybe it'll work now. I don't know. But pretty hectic scene over here. Basically everybody who's out is constructing barriers, building wooden, putting boards over these guys are shoring up some construction site here with wood boards to prevent people from getting down in there. I mean, the city is bracing for more bedlam tonight, but the mayor, the governor, they aren't taking appropriate action. He should be getting on TV and not equivocating and siding with the peaceful protesters as they show videos of people looting stores. So here's the other thing I wanted to say about looting stores. Everybody is saying, oh, they're just stealing property. We can't equate property to life. But what about all the people who work at Macy's? What if Macy's says, hey, you know what? We were losing a lot of money anyway because of Amazon.com. Now we've been closed for 2 months. Now all our stuff got stolen and we got to pay all this money to fix the store. Forget it. Let's just close. How many businesses? Here's another guy taking a crap in the street over there. How many other businesses are just going to say, forget it, we're going to close, we're not coming back to New York? I mean, if I owned a business, I wouldn't be excited about serving the population of this city after they destroy my shop. I might not be able to do it. So what about all the people who work in these places that are now going to be out of work? And what if they turn to crime? And what if their kids can't eat and starve and die? What about their lives? So when I went to the protest on Saturday to talk to that guy who seemed to be the leader of some sort, I asked I don't know if people got to see this, I asked the guardian angel over there if he was aware that George Floyd and Devin Chauvin worked together, and there's good reason to believe they may have known each other. He wasn't even aware of that fact. So my question is, how many of these passionate protesters even have any idea what it is that they're protesting for? I wonder. Because when I ask them, they don't seem to know. They want to defund NYPD, but they don't really have an idea for what to do. Is every single night going to be like last night if we defund the NYPD? I mean, what I was saying before when the broadcast cut off is that people have heard me say some things that some people have construed as anti-cop. Well, I'm definitely against cops that slam people's heads into the sidewalk and appear to break their necks because they're not standing 6 feet away from somebody. And now, if I were the mayor, I would have yesterday in the morning gone on TV and said, look, tonight there's a curfew of 7 o'clock. Your rights to peaceably assemble are respected from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m., but be off the street if you don't want to be subject to arrest. And I would just bring in every single NYPD officer and arrest anybody who's out on the street and doesn't have a good excuse, like I'm going home from work. You're subject to arrest. And people say, oh, you want martial law. No, I don't want martial law, but I also don't want chaos. What we have right here is, so how many days is it until the smashing of store windows? Once all these stores are smashed, once everything of value is removed from them, how long until rioters start entering apartment buildings and killing people and taking their stuff? So we can see the NYPD has a lot of vehicles out. This is 30th Street, and their precinct is over here. I don't really want to talk to the cops. They're obviously very tense. And when it comes to cops versus rioters, the cops have my support. There's no doubt about that. I do not want chaos. I do not want the city to come under control of people like that idiot midget I was talking to, leading that supposedly peaceful protest. I disagree. That was not a peaceful protest. There were peaceful individuals among the protesters, but there were agitators in that crowd. Those guys who came up to me, who claimed to be there to peacefully protest, and they're so concerned about lives and peace and everybody's rights. That's not true. Those were people who wanted to look at me and presume because I'm white, I'm racist, and they deserve whatever it is that I have, and they're going to take it by force because it's their time. That is not the way the world works, and that's certainly not the way I intend to allow or assist it to work. And those guys, they threatened to kill me. There was some guy who looked like Charles Manson who was with those guys who threatened to kill me. This is not a black-white thing. This is an anarchist, moron, Marxist, subversive. I mean, again, get out there with a sign and with a plan. My plan would be, why doesn't the NYPD announce that they have fired Francisco Garcia and he's being charged with assault? Why don't they do that? And now they're saying they do these knee-jerk things. They want to make it illegal for the police to use chokeholds. Well, I understand the police point of view that if someone's violent and trying to kill you, you need to use certain tools to subdue those people. But I think we need more specific and nuanced solutions to the complicated problems that the police face. And I think one of the best solutions is that when somebody blatantly violates, anything decent, like why does Fernando Garcia need to have his knee on the kid's neck? So the door of this liquor store was smashed, we can see. And this is a pretty new store. There's usually the same guys in there. I don't shop in there too often, but whenever I go in there and get a bottle of wine or something, it's kind of the same guys running it. So that's a small, probably family-owned business here on 7th Avenue. The real estate's very expensive, I'm sure. This little run of shops in particular has had a lot of turnover, probably because the rent is really expensive. I guess people have been buying a lot of booze, but you smash that store, what's going to happen to this place tonight? I'm surprised there's anything left in there. The looting and stuff that I saw last night on TV. I'm going to be doing a show with Bishop Larry Gators at 1, so I'm heading back. I just want to do a quick stream to show everybody this. We've heard now Andrew Cuomo, I always want to call him Mario, that was his father, he was the governor for a long time. Andrew Cuomo puts out this tweet that, President Trump wants to use the military against citizens. Yeah, but if the citizens are rioting, creating chaos, beating people down in the street, did people see this video of a cop got hit and run by a car in the Bronx last night? What are they waiting for? We cannot have another night of this. I think that, look, when Charles and I went walking around the other day, and I'm not a detective, and I don't have a network of people on radios making observations, doing some reconnaissance thing all day, I observed activity that I think the police need to look into. So I'm not blaming the police for this, but I just think that the plan has been bad from the beginning, and I blame the mayor and the governor for that. There was video shown where Police Chief Monahan got down on his knee with the peaceful protest. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all the protesters aren't peaceful. I'm saying there are peaceful protesters, but I think that they're gullible and they're being socially engineered by the violent people who have so embedded themselves in the peaceful protest. Like, here we've hit upon an interesting case where I do believe that if there's legal precedent for them to shut down the protest in City Hall Park, where I was just talking to some totally peaceful, not even raising their voices, not threatening to kill anybody, we were literally standing in the park and the cops just shut that down right away. I don't understand why they are allowing this to continue. Just tell people you can protest until 7 p.m. and then after that, you got to go home or you're going to get arrested. Now, this is the Fashion Institute of Technology. They're shoring up their windows so that they don't get smashed. I guess probably nobody was vandalizing this place because you can't, I don't know if there's really necessarily anything in there you can steal, but clothing places, fancy, jewelry stores, these places are getting broken into and smashed. And, we don't know what insurance policies these people have, what kind of problems they're going to run into getting their insurance claims fulfilled, how many people they're going to have to hire, if they're going to want to reopen after that. Interestingly, on that street, when I was walking up on my way there was some wise guy working on the pole. It doesn't look like 6G. There's no antennas. There's a lot of fans. Utility contractor. Seems like something other than 6G. I asked him what he was doing. He said he's installing 6G. But he was just being a wise guy. Mobile splicing lab. I mean, you guys are doing something with fiber optics up there, I would think. It certainly hasn't been ratified yet. And that's not what they're doing. But there is some utility contractor. 6G has not even been ratified. It can't be 6G. I know you're lying. Played any role. Look at the smile on this guy's face. What are you guys doing? Broadcast, I don't know. But there's a lot of Verizon trucks around. People have noticed that since the beginning of this thing. Fire department. Now, there was a bank that I saw that had its windows smashed around here. I mean, the point I'm getting at is we've got a very reactionary mayor and governor. They aren't being proactive to deal with this unprecedented violence and basically the tear down of New York City. You know, people should also keep in mind that the concept of doing a curfew when everything is already closed anyway, I mean, what the hell is the difference? It doesn't seem like it would have that big of an impact on anybody who isn't intent on going out and creating bedlam and doing crime and all that. So I don't understand why they hesitated and why they continue to hesitate. I personally believe being outside after the curfew during these next few days should be grounds for arrest. Not automatic arrest, but if you don't have a good reason for being out, boom, right in the pokey or whatever you want to call it. And then, look, whoever wants to protest, do it during the day. If you want to protest by getting arrested, there you go. So, again, my concern is when do these, wild lootings turn to home invasions and murder? I don't think it's far off. There's a lot of buildings getting boarded up. Garbage cans have been removed. Actually, look at that. Yeah, there's no garbage cans anywhere. I guess because they were being used to throw them through cop windows of cop cars. But yeah, Midtown there was kind of the main focus of destruction last night. I think they said that it also went to Soho. We got the Guardian Angels out there. They said Curtis Lewa was around, but I didn't get to see him. So, all right, everybody, tune in half an hour. We're going to have Bishop Larry Gators is going to be going in depth on some of the details surrounding the George Floyd murder. In my view, why haven't we heard any more details about him knowing the cop who killed him? Did he or didn't he? The owner of the business that they worked at has said that they worked together. All this misinformation about that is flying around. I don't see signs that today is any better than yesterday. I don't see signs that the people in charge of this mess are making the right decisions to prevent a deeper descent into just chaos.